Okay, welcome to our topic, that is soil or land pollution, and to see how land is polluted in our environment and see the effects to our environment if our land is polluted. First of all, we need to know what is soil. So soil is the thin layer of organic and inorganic materials that covers the Earth's rock surface. The organic portion, which is derived from the decayed remains of plants and animals, is concentrated in the dark uppermost top soil. This soil is very fundamental for our growth of plants. So organic matter, if we take it in percentage, it takes 5%, where air is 25, water 25, mineral and water 45. So organic matter is only 3%, and mineral matter 85% if it is a rock, and organism 0.1 is a small organism within the soil. So the inorganic portion made up of rock fragments was formed over thousands of years by physical and chemical weathering of bedrock. Let's take as the formation of soil from rocks. Soil pollution. The introduction of substances, biological organisms, or any or energy into the soil results in a change of the soil quality, which is likely to affect the normal use of soil. If some other material that are not naturally not there, they can come to disturb the soil. So that is soil pollution. Soil pollution is caused by the presence of man-made chemicals or other materials, interaction in the natural source, soil environment, this soil pollution. So causes of soil pollution. Pollution in soil is associated with indiscriminate, that is not carefully selection. If we cannot select wisely fertilizer, that is termed as indiscriminate. Also, we can indiscriminate the use of pesticide, insecticide, and herbicides, or dumping of large quantities of solid waste. Is a waste of type consisting of everyday items that are discarded by the public, such as refuse or rubbish, reuse or rubbish. Garbage also referred as specifically to food waste. Deforestation and soil erosion. Causes of soil pollution mainly is due to indiscriminate, that is, if we are not carefully selecting or proper means of fertilizer, proper means of selecting the required pesticides or insecticide. So indiscriminate use of fertilizer. We start with, let's see if we are not carefully selecting the proper fertilizer in our agricultural practices. The use of fertilizers are another primary source of pollution on or near the ground surface for our land. Most agricultural fertilizers are water-soluble nitrates, and the phosphate that are applied to the fields and the gardens to stimulate the growth of crops, grass, and flowers. So again, if we're not carefully selecting which pesticides and insecticides to be used in our agriculture, plants which we depend on for food are under attack from insects such as fungi, bacteria, viruses, and other animals to kill unwanted population living in or on the crops farmers use pesticides. As the chemical does not decompose readily, it persists in the environment. Since it is soluble in fat rather than water, it biomagnifies the accumulation of harmful substances such as a radioactive element and a heavy metal up the food chain and disrupted calcium metabolism in beds, causing egg shells to be thin and fragile. Dumping of solid waste. The influence of dumping of solid waste. In general, solid waste includes garbage, domestic refuse, and discarded soil materials such as those from commercial, industrial, and agricultural operations. They contain increasing amounts of paper, cardboards, plastics, glass, old construction materials, packaging material, and toxic or otherwise hazardous substances. Have a look here. This is an example of how the dumping, which is not, which include results to land or soil pollution. The portion of solid waste which is hazardous, such as oil, battery, metals, heavy metals from smelting industries, and organic solvents are the ones we have to pay particular attention to. We have to put more focus on this part for solid waste, which are hazardous. These can, in the long run, get deposited to the soil of the surrounding area and pollute it by altering the chemical and the biological properties. Deforestation. If there is deforestation, soil erosion occurs when the weathered soil particles are dislodged and carried away by wind or water. So deforestation, agricultural development, temperature extremes, precipitation including acid rain, and the human activities contribute to this erosion. Pollution due to urbanization. That's where engineering comes in. Clogging of drains, causing serious drainage problems including the burst, leakage of drainage systems, barrier to movement of water. Solid waste have seriously damaged the normal movement of water, thus creating problems of inundation or flood. Foul smell generated by dumping the waste at place. Increased microbial activities, Decomposition of organic waste generate large quantities of methane, besides many chemicals to pollute the soil and water flowing its surface. It's very important now to note the effect of soil pollution to our environment. Start with the effect of soil pollution to agricultural activities. It reduces soil fertility. If the soil have some wanted material or has been polluted, that is, we term it, it reduces soil fertility. Reduced nitrogen fixation, natural nitrogen conversion, the natural conversion of atmospheric nitrogen by bacteria found in the modulus legumes into composition in the soil that plants and other organisms can use. Okay, also in agricultural, there's large loss of soil and nutrients, increased erodibility, reduced crop yield. That means production will be low, imbalance in soil, fauna, and flora. Because of presence of this pollution, the fauna and flora won't multiply easily as natural. Role of industry to soil pollution. Dangerous soil effect can come to dangerous chemicals entering underground water, ecological imbalance, release of pollutant gases, release of radioactive rays causing health problems, increased salinity, that means a lot of salt, for example, in water, in soil. If there is more salt in soil, some plants do not prefer such amount of salt, reduced vegetation. Due to, in urban, the role of urbanization to the environment, soil pollution, clogging of drains, that means the system for drainage because of concentration of settlement, inundation of areas, public health problems, pollution of drinking water sources, foul smell and release of gases, waste management problems. So after we have seen the effect of soil or land pollution, let's see or discuss on how to control this soil pollution. Reducing chemical fertilizer and pesticides use. How? By applying biofertilizers and the manures can reduce chemical fertilizer. 2. Biological method of pest control can also reduce the use of pesticides and thereby minimizing the soil pollution. Reusing of materials. Materials such as glass containers, plastic bags, paper, cloth can be reused at domestic levels rather than being disposed, reducing solid waste pollution. So reusing is another means of controlling the soil pollution. So that the former means was reusing. Now it's recycling and the recovery of materials. This is a reasonable solution for reducing soil pollution. Materials such as paper, some kinds of plastics, and glass can be recycled. This decreases the volume of reuse, the volume of refuse, and helps in the conservation of natural resources. Reforestation. Control of land loss and soil erosion can be attempted through restoring forest and grass cover. This focuses on replanting after cutting the trees. So you need to reforestation by replanting the plantations. Second, crop rotation or mixed cropping can improve the fertility of the land. It's another means of crop rotation, changing crops yearly can improve the land fertility. Solid waste treatment also can lead to control soil pollution. Proper method should be adopted for management of solid waste disposal. Industrial waste can be treated physically, chemically, and biologically until they are less hazardous. Acidic and alkaline waste should be first neutralized before dumping them out. Biodegradable should be allowed to degrade under controlled conditions before being disposed. Natural land pollution. Land pollution occurs massively during the earthquakes, landslides, hurricanes, and floods. These kinds of natural disasters are not only a problem in that they cause pollution, but also because they leave many victims or homeless. A good example is the recent volcanic activities, Manyara, certain area, Hanang, where we experienced this, where many people were victims and they were left homeless. All resulted waste have to be cleared, which is expensive and may sometimes take years to restore the affected area. So this makes the end of this presentation for for soil erosion, for land erosion. Thank you.